All right. So, Michael Ann, um, what brings you in this
Well, I feel like that it's been a really long time for me to feel like I'm normal. So I guess I need to start at the beginning. Um, Several months ago, I lost a very dear friend of mine. Um, and okay, I've lost people that are close to me before. Um, you know, relatives, grandfather, whatever. Um, I don't know what it is about this loss, but I can't seem to get past it. I'm everything, every time I turn around, something is reminding me, and I'm focusing on it so much, and I can't seem to get past it. I just can't get past it.
Who was it?
It was a dear friend, a colleague in a way, but a little bit more than that, a friend.
Right. How long have you been with
About 10 years.
them? Male, female?
You know,
Okay. Same age?
yeah.
Okay. So, that, what was it from?
Sudden.
Heart
I don't
attack?
think they really did they didn't do an autopsy or anything, but I think it was probably a heart attack.
What,
That she was in a coma for 3 or 4 days, and I was with the family, and I was in the room with her, and it was very dramatic in a way, because I was close to her kids, so I was kind of acting as their support system for a couple of days, and I couldn't really feel. I had to be strong for them, I guess, and um,
so you never really grieved this
mm, I didn't. No, I
though.
guess not.
Okay. And now you're dealing with school, with family, the family who's here from across the pond,
Yes,
and,
ma'am.
and which has taken all your time, and it's probably a swirl of activity. Is it a lot? Is it a lot? Is it just a lot going on in the house with everybody there? You've got 3 sons. Is that correct?
I have 2 sons and a daughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and they're all in high school, or?
Actually, my 2 sons are in college,
Oh, okay.
and they're older, and my daughter is in middle school. So,
Are they in college local?
yes,
Okay. So they still live at
they're in
home.
the house. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We
You've
have a
got,
busy household.
you have a very busy
Yeah.
household, and you lost a friend. How long ago was this?
About 8 months ago.
About 8 months ago. And
I don't know that anybody really understands that loss. I, I, I feel like it's hitting me harder than it should, and I feel like in a way I should feel guilty for it hitting me so hard because her children are. I feel like her children are handling it better than I am.
mhm. And she was your age.
Yeah, she was my age. Yeah.
You don't really know how she passed.
No.
Nothing ever was resolved. So basically, you lost someone kind of like that.
Yeah. Who was my go-to person?
Who was your go-to
Yeah.
person? You don't really know what happened,
No.
um, and you've not had any time to really sort of mourn this loss.
And I feel like every time I turn around, I want to go. I feel like I want to. I don't know everything. Okay, so for instance, owls.
Mm-hmm.
Owls were her favorite thing, so I wear this all the time. This reminds me of her.
Well, that's good. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Um,
But it's kind of getting old.
why? You don't like owls?
No, I know I like owls, but gosh, I mean, I'm a woman. I should change my necklace every once in a while.
Oh, okay. We'll get a different owl.
Maybe. I don't know.
We'll get an
It
owl
just,
pin or something like that.
but I mean, I feel like I am neglecting other things sometimes, and that's why I'm here, because I feel like um, too um, I'm too obsessed with that. It's taking away some of my joy. It's like it's there all the time in my face. I find myself driving past our house, just to drive past our house, to like, it's almost like I'm like trying to pound it in my head that she's gone because I can't believe it.
Right.
Yeah.
It was, well, again, I'll go back to just how it seems like it happened very suddenly,
It did.
and there's really no explanation.
No.
So all of a sudden, there's somebody in your life
Yeah.
who's your go-to person, and basically, poof.
Yeah.
They're
And I had
gone.
just seen her that morning.
Right.
She had just come to my office,
Mhm.
and we had talked, and you know, I get a phone call the next day that in the middle of the night, they had taken away in an ambulance. And I'm like, what?
Right.
And I also feel like I should have known that there was something wrong. I feel like
How were you doing that?
I don't know. I feel like I should have because I was the only. All of her kids were out of town. She really didn't have any other friends. She really didn't have anybody else. And I feel like I should have known that she was having some issues. I should have been on her more about going to the doctor. We all knew she wasn't going to the doctor when she should have been.
Mm-hmm.
We all knew she wasn't taking her thyroid medicine. We all knew, and I feel like I should have been the one, since her kids weren't here in town, to be hounding her about this stuff. And even though I talked to her about it, I feel like maybe I'm having some guilt too.
Do you think you could have made her take her medication?
No, she was hard on me.
Okay.
Yeah, because I did. I mean, I had really given her a hard time about. I mean, I had talked to her. I just hadn't talked to her in the last like 3 or 4 months about it. And obviously, in the last 3 or 4 months of her life, something had changed.
Right.
And I feel like because of things that were going on with me and my job was changing, and I guess I can't blame myself for that. But I feel like I was a bad friend right at that point when she really needed a good friend to say, you need to go to the doctor. You haven't been. You're not taking your thyroid medicine.
Mm-hmm. You said obviously something had changed with her or was wrong with her. What do you mean by that? What was obvious about it?
Well, I mean, because she died.
But I mean, before that, what was obvious about the change? What was obvious about her? What was different about her from, say, the month before that you say, okay, wow, something's really wrong here. So what was that you saw? Because you said obvious.
No, you're right. Nothing.
Okay.
She was the same as she always been. You're right.
So it just sounds to me,
hindsight. I'm saying hindsight.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Well, because hindsight's 20/20.
Right.
And we'll look back and blame ourselves, especially when maybe you feel as though you haven't handled this.
I really feel a lot of guilt. I do. Yeah.
What would help?
Well, probably maybe maintaining a little more contact with her children.
Okay.
Maybe stepping up more with her children to slip in, because she would have done that with mine.
Okay.
And I kind of lost touch for a little bit with her children.
Okay, you can do that, and that might help with children.
Yeah, but what would help me?
What would help you? That's what I'm kind of getting at. And that might salve some of the guilt.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be there. So what's going to help with the guilt so that a year from now or 2 years from now you're not feeling guilty? You sort of resolve this and you let her go, because right now you're still carrying her.
Yeah.
I
think for me, I'm a writer. I like to write. So maybe I need to write a letter.
Right.
Yeah. And just talk her how I feel.
And then you can either hold it.
Yeah.
You can have a little ceremony where you just sort of burn it, let it go to her.
Yeah. Her family actually gave me some of her ashes.
Keep the letter with the ashes.
Mm-hmm.
And why haven't you done that?
I haven't thought of it.
Okay.
Anyway, I think I'm punishing myself for that.
Oh, for the guilt. Because you should have done something about this. Yeah.
That's me though. I always feel like I should be the one that does the.
But Michael, you've got. I mean, if I could make a diagram of it, it's as if you're sort of a hub in the middle of the wheel, and you've got your children, and then you've got your husband, your work, your school, and now your in-laws are here, and now the skill.
Yeah.
And then there you are, sort of in the middle.
Yeah.
And feeling very hollow. Right now,
yeah.
And probably think that if you were to collapse, all this other stuff would collapse down as well.
Yeah, and you know what? That is a lie I'm telling myself.
How so?
Because I think that I have done a good job of raising my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a very good analogy, though.
Mm-hmm.
You're right, because that is what I think.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. That's false.
Well,
I mean, I'm glad you put it in those terms because that is a belief I have, but it is false. It's an irrational belief. It is because I have raised my kids very, very well. They're very strong. Um, I know that they're going to be very independent and successful adults.
Right.
My husband is okay, so he relies a lot on me to do stuff, but most men do, you know. But we're a good team.
Okay.
So it's not like he's the kind of man that expects me to do everything.
So you can rely on him as well.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's sort of there's a symbiotic relationship there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, he's a better housekeeper than I am.
Okay. All right.
So in some ways he's a better cook. I do feel right now, actually particularly right now, that there's a bigger stress on me because of my in-laws being in town.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
And they're in town for how long?
Until January.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it is.
And to have, if you had your own mother in the house for how many months?
4 months.
Would that be a stressor?
You know, I can say no only because my mother is a unique person.
Okay.
My mother probably was a hippie in the 60s but didn't tell me.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's more very, very, very laid back.
Okay.
And she's not one that would get in anybody's way, and she just goes with the flow, and
Well,
very independent.
Where are his parents from?
They're from Cyprus.
And they're old.
Old school.
Old school.
Oh my. And my mother-in-law is very demanding and very exacting, and she is very obnoxious.
Okay. So you're dealing. So as this hub,
Yeah.
you know,
I'm responsible for her.
Yeah, you've got this. What about him, your father-in-law?
He's a cute little old man. Yeah. He's wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a sweet guy.
But he's there too.
He's there too. And the issue becomes that they don't speak English.
Ah.
And so there's the issue, and that's more of the issue than anything is because I'm the translator.
Okay. Can you speak Greek? So, can anybody else?
My oldest son speaks Greek, but he's working, so he's there only a few hours in the evening.
And your husband speaks?
Yeah.
Okay. So there are other people that can.
But my husband's there only a few hours a night too. So literally when I come home from work until 8 or 9 o'clock at night, I'm theirs. They grab me and that's it.
That's because during the day they don't have
anybody. They're there by themselves.
And then you
Clean
show
my
up
house.
and then
Yeah.
you're the translator.
Yeah. And so right now what happens is normally when I come home I have some downtime to myself and I'm able to process the day and this is a very good point you're making. I'm able to process my day, and I've always been one that I need to process my day and relax and kick my feet up a little bit and talk to my daughter and see how her day went. I don't have that right now.
And that's since they've been there.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you going back to this death of your friend?
Yeah.
When did you really start to feel this guilt? Was it immediate? Was it when the in-laws arrived and you didn't have that process time? Was it before that?
It's been all the time, but it's probably magnified now. And I don't feel it as much actually when I'm there with them, but it seems to magnify. It's almost like if I have that time in the evening just to relax, it's almost like I have this inner anxiety that's going on right now, or this inner something, that if I have that time to process when I get home, I'm good. But if I don't, then during the day when I'm not at home, I tend to focus on that. That seems to be my focus. It's my go-to thing, and I'm focusing a little bit more on that than I should. I'm drawn to that. Like, it's, you know, I'm never going to see her again. You know, I wish I could tell her that.
You can tell her that in a letter.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe that's what I need to do, start keeping a journal for her.
Well, what about keeping a journal for you?
Yeah.
Do you do that? Do you do that every
I
day?
actually do.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't do it a lot, but when I'm particularly, you know.
What have you put in the journal about or anything?
actually haven't. Yeah.
So you really just haven't dealt with this
At all.
at all.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I
So
think I'm afraid. I don't know why, but
afraid of breaking down?
I don't know. I don't know.
Do you think that would be embarrassing, or would it just even if you
I
did it
don't
by
think.
yourself?
In a way, I don't think. In a way, I think I don't have the right to. In a way,
Why?
because I feel like she has 3 kids, and they're the ones who have the right to.
You knew her for 10 years. She
I
was a
know.
go-to person. She was a good buddy of yours, same
I
age as
know.
yours, and you don't have a right to
I know.
warn her?
Oh.
So, what if you wrote this letter and went out to, say, somewhere like a Pemberton Park or something and just spent
Yeah.
some time by yourself
Yeah.
without anybody else and just allowed yourself to mourn her?
It would probably help a lot. Yeah.
Do you think you could do that?
Yeah, I think I would. Yeah.
So, between now and then the next time I see you, do you think you could at least get a letter written?
Yeah.
And then maybe start planning on some time. Here we are approaching winter, when everything sort of is dying, waiting for spring to come back up. So you could do something in the winter, and then wait till spring again, and everything's coming up again. Do it again then. Sort of do it seasonally maybe. I think it's very important for you to realize, and this may take some time, that this isn't your fault. If she died suddenly and there's no explanation, Michael-Ann, how in the world were you going to know? Even if she wasn't taking her medications, you said she was hard-headed.
Yeah.
And you weren't going to be able to get her to do it anyway.
I didn't believe in doctors.
What?
Yeah.
Were you going to pull your magic wand out?
I thought I was going to handcuff her to her car and take her. I don't know. I mean, that's the thing that's gone through my mind. I should have put her in the car and driven her myself and taken her to the doctor.
So you're shitting all over yourself.
I am. I really am. Yeah. Because that's what good friends are supposed to do. We're supposed to like drag them to the doctor, and I don't know.
Good friends are supposed to drag their good
Yes.
friends to the doctor.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever been able to do that with any of your other friends?
I haven't even been able to do that to my husband.
Oh, but you were going to be able to do it with
I
her.
know.
So, has this had an impact in any of the other aspects of your life? Do you think it's has it affected your relationship with your husband? Has it affected any of your relationship with your kids, your work, your ability to concentrate in school, your migraines? Are you having more? Have you noticed you're having more migraines, or no? Is there no?
I think the only thing that really affected it is my work, and the reason is because we met through my work. Okay, she originally was one of my art. She's an artist, and she was my art partner in the after-school programs, and that's how we originally met. The reason why I say it affected my work is because when she passed away, I changed jobs. I left that program, and I moved on. I like what I do, and I really enjoy what I moved on to, but I really believe that that decision to go ahead and move on was because the thought of continuing on in those programs without her being part of it was more than I was willing to process.
Okay. So,
because she had been there from day one. She had been there. Yeah.
so her death actually caused you to switch positions in the program.
Right, and you know what? And that really kind of was a good thing.
Okay.
I mean, I think it was a very, very good move for me. So I don't think that was a negative.
Right.
I don't think it was a negative in any stretch of the imagination. It was not a negative. It was a very positive move. But it certainly impacted. It was an impact.
How was it possible?
Because it is what I love to do. It was my field.
What you're currently doing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is?
Student and family services.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is what I majored in. It's what I'd done prior to running after-school programs. The after-school programs actually was not my field. Instruction was not my field. So the move actually was a good move, but I certainly went forward and found it because I was looking for a change, because I needed to move. It was just not, I wasn't willing to stay because I just felt every single time I made a calendar for the partners and there was no art partner, I just,
Okay.
oh, badly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this was good. This was good.
Yeah.
In a number of ways.
Yeah.
You're doing more what you want to do,
Yes.
and you're able to.
I'm able to affect more
Her
children.
her absence was actually a distraction. Maybe.
Yes. And and it was affecting my job because I actually had several months that I was still in that position with the after-school programs, and it was very difficult for me to work. And I had a colleague who worked with me who really covered a lot for me during that time because it was very difficult for me. It was just very difficult. It was just very difficult. I had her son actually continued with her contract for a couple of months after her death.
So her son actually picked up what she was.
Yeah, for a couple of months, and then he moved to Texas. But it was just, it was just really, just that whole time period, just for me, I just wasn't performing up to my level of work. And it was just, I was forgetful, I just wasn't organized, I was grieving, I guess, at that point, in this sort of way.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you've been trying to grieve, but you've been.
Yeah, I've been controlling it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm a girl freak.
Well, because you're the hub.
Mhm.
So, but the hub's going to collapse.
I don't.
Yeah. So I think that for our next time, because we're pretty much out of time, I think that it would be very helpful for you to at least start printing this letter and really explain to him how you feel and what her absence means. All right.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.